Okay, here is the video tutorial for the solubility curve that you are having trouble with in Journey 10. So basically, solubility is the amount of solute that can dissolve in a certain amount of solvent at a certain temperature. And we know that solubility varies with temperature. The higher the temperature, the more solute that can be dissolved. Now, that's only for solids and liquids. Solubility decreases when you have gases. So as temperature increases, the solubility of a gas decreases. And you can kind of think about, when you have a can of soda sitting out, when it's cold, it's got lots of fizz, right, in it. But as it warms up, it kind of goes flat because now it's at a higher temperature, and a lot of the carbon dioxide that creates all that fizz isn't dissolved anymore. It's kind of left the solution. So those are kind of some of the rules for solubility. So now let's go over some example problems for solubility. The first one, it says, what is the solubility, how many grams of the compound per 100 grams of water of sodium nitrate at 40 degrees Celsius? So we can look at our graph here. And just so you know how to read the graph, down here is our temperature, right, on the x-axis. And then along the y-axis is how many grams of that substance can be dissolved at 100, how many grams of the substance can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at these temperatures, right, down here. So we're looking at sodium nitrate, and so this is the line for sodium nitrate, right? And it wants to know what the solubility is at 40 degrees Celsius. So we find 40 degrees, and we follow it up to this line right here. And at 40 degrees Celsius, it looks like we can dissolve about, that would be around 108, maybe 108 grams if we follow it over, 108 grams of sodium nitrate. But that's at 40 degrees. So if we want to know at 60 degrees, we'd have to follow this line up and find that, right? Number 2 says, what is the solubility of potassium nitrate at 20 degrees Celsius? So potassium nitrate, the line for that is this line right here. And we're looking at 20 degrees Celsius, so we go up. We find 20 degrees Celsius down here on the x-axis, and we follow that up to where it intersects with the line for potassium nitrate. And we see that that's probably about, and the way to do this, I mean, there's not a number here, but we can say, okay, in the middle of 20 and 60, this would be 40, right? So this is about 35, right? 35 grams per 100 grams of water. So this would be 35. Another one, what is the solubility of sugar at 20 degrees Celsius? So again, find 20 and go up, follow it up to where it intersects with the line for sugar, and we have 200 grams, right? So that's how you would read this solubility curve. Now, there's also the question of saturated, unsaturated, and supersaturated. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead here and show you if any of the points lie along this line, right? If we're looking at potassium nitrate, if the points lie along the line, this is saturated. Now, there are also areas up here, right above the line, anything that falls in this area above the line for potassium nitrate, anything above the line is going to be supersaturated. And then anything below this line, if the point, falls below that line, it's going to be unsaturated. That means we can dissolve more of it. Oops. That means we could actually dissolve more at that same temperature, right? Okay, so let's look at this first example. Name the compound on the curve that would make a saturated solution if 115 grams were dissolved in 100 grams of water at 20 degrees Celsius. So for this one, we're just going to find, 115 grams and 20 degrees Celsius, and we're going to find that point. And hopefully there's a line there that it intersects with. So we're looking for something to be saturated, so it's got to fall on the line. So we would go, here's 20. So we're going to go up to 115 grams, which is about right here. So about 115, and we would say that it's sodium bromide, even though that's a little bit higher probably than 150. Well, not really, because this would be 120, right? So this is the point right here, 115 grams and 20 degrees Celsius. And so the compound is going to be this compound right here, the sodium bromide. And that would be the answer. Well, I hope this has helped. If you have further questions, just let me know.